Hey y'all, let me know if you can hear me. Give me a heart and thumbs up. I didn't have any of the music tonight. Oh my goodness, you guys. Today was a great day. Let me know if you can hear me. Hey you guys. Hey Andrea. Hey, let's call you Andrea. Hey Andrea, if you're still there, say hi to me in the chat. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from tonight. What's going on? It's Wednesday. Today, like, can y'all still hear me? Cause girl, what is going on right there? Yeah, let me know if y'all still hear me. Hey YouTube. Hey, how you doing? How was your week? Any exciting news happen? My last my last week, let me be great, y'all. I was in here. Just Lord, just you know. Hey, yes, I can hear you. Hey, Bonita girl. Remember sharing is caring, y'all. Share the show for me. I almost ain't even come here with these lashes, okay? Because I don't know what was going on. How y'all feeling tonight? Thank you guys for being here with me as we continue to get through this process, okay? You say yes. What's new? What's going on with you guys? How was your week? Hey, TikTok, I'm here too. How was your guys' week? I want to get into I want to get into some things. Like y'all tell me what we should get into because I've seen some foolishness that's going around, but also I like to tell y'all I can't tell keep secrets from y'all. I was in the middle of a like a little session thing. I don't got glue. Sorry guys. Uh, okay. Anyway, and I was just helping two individuals get through a crisis. So that's why I was a little delayed tonight. Thank you guys. I like to keep it honest with you guys. And let me tell you, I would say it almost it actually sparked a thought in mine, and I'm like, maybe this is what we should get into tonight. Um, Things that we've touched on before, but just in a different thing with friendship, you know. And I was I was very impressed by these two young ladies having a comment. Do any of y'all ever have like a discrepancy or beef with your friend? Whether younger now or whatever it may be. And I'm these young ladies, one was they both were in their 20s, so they just blew my mind in a way, and I had to give them their kudos because or as some people hold on, people don't be out here fighting for friendships anymore. Is that something? Is Are friendships important to you? Like, put it in the chat. Let me know. Are friendships important to you? Is that like a big staple? Um, with you? What is this? Okay, so that's clear right there. This is crazy right here. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. And what I liked about this just now is that it started off really, really hectic. I mean, they was cussing each other out. Okay, they was going at it. Okay, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. But and at the end result was it resulted in both of them apologizing, both of them taking accountability, and it was just a big miscommunication. It was a big miscommunication, and all of that. You say yes, but I'm not fighting for one. Okay, girl. I don't blame you, girl. Well, so what you mean by you not fighting for one? So I can make sure we're on the same page. Andre said yes, they are important to him. Hey, YouTube, TikTok, let me know. Are friendships important? Because they by them both being young and it ended in an apology, and the one was like, "Well, she not going to take accountability. She never really took accountability," and shockingly enough. the young lady, she did. She took accountability. She heard it, and stuff like that. So I thought that that was very important because they both did something that they never done, which is they both said that they dismiss friends. Like when they get into an argument or if there's just a disagreement, it's like like what you said, but they not fighting for it. They be like, listen, we can pay it, keep it moving. I ain't worrying about it no more. We ain't gonna be friends no more. But what they did differently this time is they added another party who's not connected to either of them in any way, which I think was a good which was a good thing. It was a good idea. And it was me, and I thought we were gonna be done in time, and we weren't. So pardon me for that. I would say yes if the friendship is worth saving. Yes. How do you know which friendships are worth saving, Andre? How do you know that? Like, how would you know? How can you tell? 'Cause I definitely agree. For me, with what I just got out of this situation, which I thought was, like I said, which I thought was great. I say it all the time. A friendship is a relationship. I don't care what people say, how you want to slice it, how you want to dice it. A friendship is a relationship. You treat your friends with care, all of those things. Sometimes you may have a little disagreement, or you may not. You know what I mean? Things of that nature. And um and that too is okay. Some friendships can recover from them, and some can't. Sometimes you get to like the icing on top where it's like, you know what, I'm not for it. This is it. This was the last straw, and things like that. So I totally get that, and I understand that as well. I'm not fighting for my friends over anything. I'd rather just stop talking to you than to make a scene. Okay. So let's say if something happened and there's a disagreement or miscommunication, Benita, you don't even want to talk about the miscommunication. You don't even want to discuss anything. You just like, nope, that's it. I'm not doing it. Is that it? The years invested memories in the bond. Okay. Okay. So, like for me, I used to get easily upset with like my friends and stuff like that long ago about things, whether it was a trigger or whether me just feeling like you weren't a friend to me. Because I think we all experienced that where we didn't get the same friendship that we put out, or we all have friends that might say, "Hey, you live too far," but they'll drive to here, high water. If they're in a relationship, you know, things like that, or they may fight more for their relationship than they do their friendships. And tomato, tomato. Some people are more forgiving to their man. Some people will forgive their man 1,000 times, they won't even forgive their friend once. It's like, we're gonna be done with it. And, which is all things and different things that people have to work out as well. So, here we are with the 2 friends, and I just thought that that was really great that they wanted to work through that and that they recognized that they both had their triggers, and I'm just telling them, people ultimately are not responsible for our triggers. I say it all the time, people come along to teach us something, to tell us something, and just for us to learn, like, life is about learning and growing and flourishing and just being a better version of yourself, right? So, when you come and somebody say something that is triggering from you, like I told y'all last night, like last when I was like, "Wait a minute, I had to get to this trigger because my friend didn't even know that they had came and they had bought a trigger." And, people are responsible for that, you know? We are responsible for that. And so with these 2 young ladies, the fact that they were able to get through it and express that both of their triggers came up and they apologized and they both recognized that they both still wanted the friendship. Thank you for liking the live. Thank you. They both they both recognized that they wanted the friendship. And I thought that that was very important because today, these days, as we look around online and just in the news, did y'all see the 3 young ladies who gave their friend a baby shower? They gave her a baby shower, and then they jumped her at the baby shower, and she lost the baby. Then you have people that did the stuff that they did to Shanquella Robinson, you know what I mean? And we just seeing the friends who took the boy out for his birthday, and he comes back he don't come back. You know what I'm saying? So it's just those things where friendship these days and fallouts are a little tricky because people will hold a grudge against you till God come back, you know? So the fact that they both acknowledged that they wanted the friendship, make sure y'all give me a heart and a thumbs up. Give me a heart and thumbs up. And share the show for me, you guys. Sharing is caring, and I'm gonna tell you. I said I have some news I want to tell y'all, but I said, God, if it's meant for me to tell them today, put it on my heart for me to tell them. So if I don't end up telling you guys the news, God didn't want me to tell you right now. You said you heard about it. Okay. They said there's a video. I didn't want to see that gruesome video. I don't know what it is. I didn't want to see it. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Shell. How you doing? And all those things like that. So I know with me, it's completely different from generation to generation. When like even if my daughter fall out with her friends and then they end up and they reconnect how people do, I'm always a little shaky only because of these days, these friends when they fall out, it's like they trying to unalive each other. They setting each other up. They getting each other sexually assaulted. They just the day of a friendship fallout is just so different that if when my daughter has like her moments or something with her friends and then they rekindle, I'm always like, okay. But I'm always gonna be in that mommy mode. Do any of y'all relate? Do any of y'all got kids? I like, how y'all with y'all kids? When they fall out with friends and they get back. Because I know when I was coming up, my mother knew that we would all bicker, like me and my friends, we fought, things like that. And it was like she didn't she didn't get into my issues with my friends, right? It's like kids are gonna be kids, they're gonna disagree. But today it seems like we can't be like that. You know what I mean? Is it just me? What y'all thinking? Hey, hey. I miss you. What's up, Legit? Shout outs to you over there on YouTube. Make sure y'all on YouTube, y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all hitting that like button over there on YouTube too. And share the show on Facebook. So, with that, I'm always just a little sketchy. But I definitely think that I don't know. What I would say at this big grown age, with anybody, you just got to get to a point too where when people want to be in your life and they don't want to be in life no more, it's like we got to be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I know some things can be a little easier said than done, but it's one of those things where it's like it works if you work it. And you know, I talked to y'all last week about what I experienced during Lent, right? Um, what I experienced during Lent, and that was such a great show. I appreciated that show. And now also is just continuing to move forward and go ahead with life. This morning, I'm always having epiphanies in the morning. I'm giving y'all telling y'all about me. Having epiphanies in the morning. And I lost somebody really, really close to me, right? I've never experienced that. So I'm learning that when you experience a close loss, that it affects you. And I'm not talking about affects you like emotional wise and all of that. It can change. You know how sometimes it can change. You can go to a funeral or something for somebody, and in that moment, you might be like, "Dang," I say life is too short to be back and forth or whatever the case may be. It was like in this season, this morning, and prior to this morning, I don't know. I just want us to know that okay. I just want y'all to know that don't sweat the small stuff. Caught myself. Don't sweat the small stuff. And I said that because when I looked at that because I lost someone close to me, and I'm like, "Yo, I don't wanna do any arguing. I don't wanna have any disagreement." And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen because I explained to y'all what happened during Lent, but I don't have the energy any longer to dwell on it. You get what I'm saying? Do y'all get what I'm saying? Do y'all ever get to that place where it's like, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, it is so much more to life than because the thing that came to me clear is one thing for sure, too for certain, we all gonna leave here. We gonna leave the same way. We gonna leave the same way. Different circumstances, but we gonna leave the same way. And I'm like, is it is you plucking my nerves, or even if it's my kid or something, like, is this grudge really that important? Is me Is the breakup really that serious? You get what I'm saying? Because whenever anything, with anything when your emotions is involved, it's heightened to what I was telling y'all about earlier. It gets heightened. You can't think clearly. You running off of ego and all that other stuff. And then it's like when the dust settles, it's like, is it really that important? And I said, "You know what? I just began for years because 'cause I've always been like a free spirited, but, I'm sorry, I have a free spirit, but now it's like even more free, I guess you would say, because I'm just like, I wanna enjoy life. I don't wanna do no arguing. If you don't wanna be my friend no more, it is completely okay with me. I had to go through different things and friendships and learn that when people wanna come, y'all know I'm famous for doing like this, telling you, "Open your hands and close them." When people wanna come in your life, regardless if it's a friendship, relationship, a job ship, anything, you catch them and you let them. And when they feel like they don't want to be in your life anymore, you got to let them go. You gotta let them go. And it is definitely easier said than done, but when I had to think about just all the struggle of the tension that you do and the things that we go through, like, if y'all make a fist right now, like, make a fist and squeeze it as tight as you can, right? Because I want y'all to feel this, right? And when you take your fist and you squeeze it as hard as you can, sometimes we be fighting for people to be in our life, to love us, to acknowledge us, to accept us, to anything us, just as tight. And it's like you should almost feel like the muscles in your knuckles tighten up in your fingers. Your hands should be about to start throbbing. Like this is just so difficult. Well, go ahead and release it. Look, ooh, all of that tension is gone. All of that frustration is gone. You know what I mean? She'll say, yes, it's gone. And it's like we have to control our emotions because sometimes you can not control your emotions and all of this. Because I'm gonna figure out why these girls jumped their homegirl and unalived her freaking newborn baby. She was like 8 months pregnant. And they gave her a baby shower and jumped her. And things like that. So it's just like we fight for things that sometimes literally make us sick, suck the life out of us. We constantly living in a state of fear, fear of losing the job, fear of not having enough money, fear of not, being able to take care of kids, not having food, not having gas, lights getting cut off, eviction notices, bills. We just constantly live in a state of survival that a lot of times it's like fight or flight, and we don't know. We're more so reacting to everything. And we walk around and we reacting, and then you're feeling disrespected, and then and it's just like once you get rid of all of that and something comes to you and you have a moment where it says, "This stuff is not important." Like, how important is it? How important is your ego? How important is it that these people don't wanna be your friend no more? How important is it that they talked about you? How important is it that y'all getting divorced or y'all broke up or they cheated or all like, how important is that when at the end of the day, the world is full of billions of people and people only matter to us as much as we make them matter to us. So when you look at a situation from that perspective, you really get to see you are in control of everything. You really are in control, even when your emotions are involved in it. You are in control. You don't like the scene, you don't like the movie. What do? You can change it. You can change it. Even to the point where if we're online and we see something that we don't like, people are to the point where you would rather read something, get offended, feel away, or wanna argue when you coulda just kept scrolling. You you get what I'm saying? Like, that's where we are today. And we don't really I think people really don't understand just how much of your life is really in your control. The drama, the arguing, the friendships, the relationships. Nobody is putting a gun to your head, making you stay with them, be friends with them, work for them, do them favors, but, we always say, people the famous line we be saying, "They weren't the friend to me that I was to them," or "I do more for people than what they do for me." And I'm here to say, stop. Do more for you than you do for people. And once I started putting me first, things changed. Thanks for the follow, TikTok. Things changed. Once I started putting me first, things changed. And who's supposed to be around is going to be around. Who's supposed to be in life is going to be in life. I just feel, we always say, like, I love, y'all know I love me some God, I love me Jesus, right? And we always say we believe and we have faith and we trust God. But the minute it looks like something is not going to go the way you want it to go, we don't trust them. We often say, oh, man's rejection is God protection, but we really don't be believing that. If somebody wanna be with you and, what's the other saying y'all know I hate? "Oh, if it's for you, let them go. If it's meant to be, they come back." A lie. You know? All of these things, we believe that fighting for a relationship and love is supposed to be hard and difficult and da, da, da. These are all just different things that we've seen and programming and all of that other stuff where it keeps us not realizing that we have abandonment issues. We take our pain from pillar to post. Make the next person responsible for your disappointment when it happened, 5 relationships ago. You're not sitting down to try to figure out what's going on with you and why you keep experiencing the same thing you experiencing. You keep saying you have a type. You don't wanna change, or you're so superficial, and then when something decent, good comes along, or it is brought into your life and you prayed for it, you can't even recognize that it's what you prayed for. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all of those things, and I'm just wanting to say that we gonna leave here one day, and I would like for y'all to do, like, a diary check of self. If you was to leave right now, in this moment, how much stuff would be on the list that you are worried about right now? Because a lot of times, we can't see past what we dealing with. For one, your emotions and your heart make you feel like it's the end of the world, child, whenever you're going through anything. But if you really sit for a second and take the emotions out of any and everything that has ever bothered you or was done to you, and take your emotions out of it and sit, you might can see that you ain't as attached to it as you think, or you should have walked away from it a long time ago. You know how many people get up every day, go to a job they can't stand? Do you know how miserable that has to be? Do you know and I used to do it. Oh, I used to do it. Do you know how miserable that is to go to a job every day that you just do not like? Hey, TikTok. Thank y'all for liking the live and sharing it. And so when you know that people we're waking up on autopilot, doing things that we don't like, and then we find excuses like, well, a two-income household is better than a one income household. Uh, Blue Bunny said, "Yes, I did. Yes, I did it too." Yeah, a two-income household is better than a one-income household, or it's better to deal with the devil I know than the devil I don't. What else is some more stuff we be saying? What else is some more stuff we saying? "Well, I gotta pay the bills," or "This gotta do this." Like, we wake up sometimes some people just wake up constantly miserable, and they don't even know they miserable. Some of 'em smoking their pain away every day, some of 'em drinking their pain away every day, think some of 'em sexing on people, uh, to get their pain away, and, a lot of the times it be too late, and you be broken, and you don't even realize you broken. Yeah, yes, TikTok said, "Mad for no reason," and I had to get to the point where now when people go off on me or feel away, I be like, "Oh, yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with me." But before, I would be ready to go off with you. I was a hellraiser, you know? But now it's like people be dealing with things that don't have anything to do with you, and then they will, "Hey, cousin, happy birthday," and then they will take it out on you. But, out of the 4 agreements to life, which is really a great book, I really think everybody should read it. One of the agreements of life is to not take anything personal and don't assume. And when you think about just those 2 agreements right there, how often do we do that? We assuming if we get a text from somebody, the message may come encrypted, you trying to break it up. If you don't get a response, you guessing and trying to figure out what the response is gonna be. All of those things. And then we take things sometimes as a personal attack. And it's like, why? Why? So that's just what I had been thinking about, and like I said, what I was dealing with when I was helping these 2 young ladies, um, I was right now in this friendship. Right now, it's just a friendship and letting go stuff. I was helping these 2 young ladies with their disagreement within their friendship, and they're young, and I was just like, "Wow." I was taken back that it started off, like I said, "Rah, rah, rah," then they apologized, they both apologized, and then they both acknowledged that they wanted each other in their lives. And I think we sometimes, everybody is always grown until it's time to communicate. You ever notice that? And even there's been times even with myself before, like in the past, where it's like I gotta communicate, and I'm like, ooh, and I used to tell myself, oh no, you grown. Grown people can communicate. You you know what I'm saying? She said, "We ready to turn up." And and I had to understand that a part of being an adult too, with anything in life, we are going to have some uncomfortable conversations that we do not want to have sometimes. And that is okay, because you should always say how you feel, be able to talk to somebody, and then the thing is you gotta let the chips fall where they may. It may result in the friendship getting better, or it may result in the friendship going about its business. But at the end of the day, either way, you gotta trust that, you can't say to go back to what we said, trust God until He start doing some stuff. I always look at it as if when something leaves, something else better is coming. It's needed in certain cases. Yeah, yeah. So, and then sometimes some people we don't know better. We don't know that we don't know no better. And if we knew better, we would do better. So maybe I should ask you this. How about y'all? Do y'all forgive y'all? Are you able to forgive your partner quicker than you are able to forgive your friends, family, your homegirl, or homeboys, or whomever? What do y'all do? I treat everybody equal now. I didn't always do that, but I treat everybody equal. But yeah, but once I learned, like, listen, it's more to life than a relationship, friendship, and drama. She said, "I'm single." Okay, listen, and let me tell you this, Shell, you ain't by yourself. People need to stop making it seem like this. Being single is a bad thing. Being single can be so peaceful. I feel like you should be able to enjoy your own company before you even have somebody else enjoy it. Some people don't go out or can't go out to like a bar or to a restaurant by themselves. They might feel weird. Wait, all right, wait a minute, I'm accept it. Might feel weird, right? And I don't look at it that way. When I didn't know any better, when I would feel like, because I had never done it. Of course, doing something new can seem scary when you do something new. But I'll go out. I'll go out with me in a heartbeat because of the simple fact that your friends and stuff is not always reliable. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy me because if you can't enjoy you, how can anybody else enjoy you? most people was like, "Well, maybe I don't wanna go," but then we be concerned about what people gonna be thinking, what we perceive and think that people are gonna be looking at us thinking something's wrong with us or wondering why they out by themselves, why they out by themselves, when it's like, that don't even matter. I think that when you're able to go out by yourself and sit and have a great time, I think that is so grown up, like, it's so much power in that. I really do. What y'all think? I really do. I've gone out of town by myself. I've gone out to restaurants and all that by myself. I've sat at the bar by myself. And I feel like if you ever feel that weird about something, or you ever feel that way about it, who's holding you hostage? You can go out, sit at the bar, and get on your phone and talk to your friends on a FaceTime or something. You're right, it's working for me right now. Peace of mind is everything. I enjoy me. Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you said that, Michelle, because once you really get a peace of mind, yo, peace of mind is everything. You won't let nobody disrupt it. And the one thing about a peace of mind too, you let me know if this how this work for you, Shell. You able to spot when somebody is about to disrupt your peace and be like, "Mm-mm, I don't know if this gonna work for me. I don't know if this gonna work out." Audrey I said, "Facts." Like, I don't know if this gonna work. You able to to recognize some foolishness a mile away. You don't even want people to argue around you. You don't even want people to argue. You be like, I don't need it's something about a peace of mind. Wait a minute, cousin. You got something you wanna say. Let's hear what you wanna say. Tell me what you wanna say, because you know whenever I let you up here on this live, you get me restricted. Are you gonna get me restricted today? Well, this is TikTok. And and so it's like, stop. I don't know who it is. Don't let nobody make you feel like it's something wrong with you because you are single. You know how many people miserable that's in a relationship? What Beyonce say? "Thank God I dodged that bullet." You know what I mean? So, I think that we just have to I want us to focus more on us. Be selfish. Look, last week we had a great show. I'm loving this one this week. Be selfish. For the remainder of the week, put you first. Do what you wanna do, eat what you wanna eat. Say no. Start saying no. There is so much power in the word no. Start saying no. And it's not even about being petty, because we can say we'll do people how they do us. No, you can just we can just act accordingly, and I'm not mad with you, you're not mad with me. "Oh, can you do such and such?" No. And don't feel bad that you said no, because we'll feel bad, but that's also a sign of being codependent. And some people, who feel that way are people pleasers, So this is what I'm saying, you gotta look at it. You gotta recognize why you're feeling bad. What is the root of you feeling bad that you done said no? Because people will tell you no in a heartbeat. Won't even think about it twice. She said that part. For real. Don't even think about it twice. So it's nothing wrong with that. And trust me, child, I came a long way, okay? I done had some friends do some things to me that I wouldn't dare have thought to do to them. But then at the same time, I had to look at that too, like, well, where were you at in your life when you were friends with them? Because you was all over the place too. Yeah, but I wasn't doing that. But it don't matter, y'all always a mess. So now you just got a bunch of mess, being friends with a bunch of mess, and all of y'all is just a mess. A big bowl of bull crap. And it's like, you know what? And then you have that part too with people where it's like, you just don't sit right with me. You know when they say people will dislike you just for no reason, right? People we talked about that briefly too last week. People will dislike you for no reason. But at the same time, sometimes and they say, "Oh, well, that's just because you got the anointing and you irritating their demons or something, 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 something." I don't always agree with that No, sometimes I know for me, every time if my spirit was like, gave me a cause to pause about somebody, eventually I learned why there was that cause to pause. You get what I'm saying? You know, they say let's give people the benefit of the doubt, but you know, there's no benefit in doubt. Well, I don't like that either. So it's just like, you know, you sit there and it seems like you start feeling a way. But it's like, you ain't right. And you know, we forget God gave all of us intuition. The problem is when you don't use it, you lose it. You know, it's like a muscle. If you're not practicing and strengthening it and praying and meditating and doing what you need to do to increase and developing your relationship of communication, you're gonna be letting all kinds of stuff come by. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna let all kinds of stuff go by. But once you really be like, hold on, and you trust God, and I know that it's hard to do. And I remember I had to have an epiphany, and this is what I'm saying. I had this epiphany at one time. I was seeing this guy some years ago, and then you know, shit went left. It went left. But during that time, this is why I always say sometimes, or well, maybe me, I think all the time, we gotta sit with stuff. Sometimes you gotta sit in the breakup, right? Of whatever it is. You gotta sit in the breakup. And when I say sit in the breakup, it's what I was saying earlier, getting outside of it so that you can see it, disconnecting your emotions from it so that way you can see it, right? And it was in that moment where I knew that this person was not in my future. I knew that we were on different pages. This person had everything that I didn't want in a person, but I was trying not to be shallow, right? And I was also being y'all remember Coach Nick Love, I also volunteered to be his little experiment. I'm always volunteering to be somebody's experiment, and things like that, and I was like, I knew this wasn't it. But within that situation, that's when I learned that I trusted God with everything else in my life, but I didn't trust him in my relationships. You know how deep that is to discover? I don't know about you, but I had to sit and you know, you gotta be honest because you know they say, you know, when they be like, well, God knows my heart. No, yeah, he definitely does know your heart. That's why sometimes things don't move the way you want it to go to because you ain't even right up in here. You got to change your heart posture. That's really a thing, right? And I had to recognize that, yo, I trust him with everything else, but I did not trust him when it came to a relationship because we fear what we can't see, and what you can't control, you feel is out of your control. You know what I'm saying? If I can't move it, if I can't do it, then it's not going to work. But ultimately, that's not true because I discovered more about me too. Like, oh, which made me even trust him even more. I want to trust him even more and recognize that, right? And then outside outside of that, right, I had to sit with myself because the one thing about growing and really being on a journey, you're really trying to get your shit together. You gotta unpack and really look at the ugly in you. And you might see some stuff you ain't gonna like. Everybody not saying you're mean, you're nasty, you're selfish, you this, you that. Everybody can't be wrong. What is it that you could be putting off to imply, to give that off to people, right? So I had to sit and do that unpacking. And even still within that, I discovered, like all of us, that I was fighting for the little girl in me. Little Candy. Fighting for little Candy. Always protecting, been on go for little Candy. Grew up protecting little Candace. And a lot of the times when we get into situations and then people, you know, friendships and relationships and people say they don't wanna be with us no more, you really think you fighting for that, but you really fighting for the little person within you that maybe didn't have a father, didn't have a mother, didn't have a stable environment, had people walk away from you, had people hurt you, abuse you, take advantage of you. That's really what it is, and then we grow up with these big old shells sometimes, we don't let nobody in, and then when we do let people in, we bury our pain within them, and then when they keep breaking the same wound that you never decided to sit still and heal from the beginning, now you blaming Mike for what's going on with you when it never had anything to do with Mike. You bless my spirit this evening. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? You said you did. You gotta do it. With anything, you have to put in the work. And we will put in the work in relationships and go to hell and high water with that, trying to figure out how we can make something work. But you're not going through that same hell and high water on how can you get you together? Why you keep getting put in the same predicament? You keep meeting the same person with a different smile and a different name and a different face at a different place at a different time. So what I also started doing was um when I meet people, I know I can make 2 plus 2 equal 85, but even when I meet people, right, I always check in with myself, whether it's a friendship, relationship, a business ship, networking ship, I always check in with me first. I didn't do that. I encourage you guys to always check in with you, with what you feeling, what's going on, where you're at in life, um, where's the tension in your body? Is your pattern, your thinking, what's that, right? Because when we meet people, because what? We are the energy we attract, right? You will be able to see and know what this situation is going to possibly be when you meet a person because you know where you at in your life. So if let's say if you're in the middle of chaos and drama and you meet somebody and that person is there with you and then y'all end up kicking it, whatever. Well, the fact that you met them while you were down in the valley, that's an indication right there that it's gonna be some shiggity in this situation, right? About to give you another point. Just this is how God worked, but I didn't always pay attention that I didn't know. It took some time, but it's the best feeling putting yourself first. It is, right? So I remember with this, I, I remember with this situation one time, right? I was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. I went through like a breakup. I was like, I would talk to him every day. We would be together every day. It was just like we were glued to the hip. And he was all the chain, rest his soul. And I was wanting to get away from that situation, right? Not even thinking it, not even paying it no mind. I'm like, I gotta get away from this person, but I'm still going through the process. And I'm forced to leave this person alone because they're deceased. And then I ended up meeting not someone similar, but it was one criminal to the next criminal in layman's terms. You understand? Let's be real. I don't got no goddamn secret. I'm an adult. I'm not ashamed of anything I've done. Um, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know anything about, you know, being the energy you're attracting. I didn't know anything about self-value, worth, or anything like that, right? And once my life coach, when she was talking to me, she was telling me, she started hitting me pay attention and was like, look at it. And I just remembered the things that I was saying during the process of trying to leave the one guy alone that I ended up meeting another version. It was a lot better version, but it still was that criminal version. You get what I'm saying? So I was like, "Oh, okay, now I see that connection." So now when I check in with me, I always check in with me, like, "What's going on with you? Where are you at when you're meeting people?" You know, I always move with caution. I move with caution now as far as just I don't even wanna say caution, just being wiser, right? So, I was thinking about you ever experienced something that you may consider like a tragedy, whatever it may be, relationship, whatever the case may be. I have been watching People's Court, and I'm sorry, I watched Paternity Court on YouTube the other day, and it was 2 young ladies and a guy. And he was with his baby mother for 5 years. Make sure y'all tap in the show. Let me know if y'all still here. Share the show for me. He was with his baby mother for 5 years. They had 5 children. They broke up. He cheated, she cheated, and he married somebody else. So he began to question the paternity of the 8-month-old, and the baby mother said it's because he met this girl. She said she loved him, she wanna be with him, she hoping that when the DNA test come back uh, that she's going to be able to get her family back because she want him. Let me know if y'all keeping up, because this is, like, real, right? How it goes. And he's standing there, and she brings the wife and asks the wife, you know, "How you feeling?" Because now she's learning he's still sleeping with said mother, the ex. But you can see clear as day that you know how it is when some people you try to move on with somebody else just because you're not with the person you trying to piss the other person you off, you leaving, you know, all that dysfunctional stuff. So that's you can clearly tell clear as day that he married that other girl to piss her off. But now you didn't bit off too much than you could chew, right? It comes out the wife now learns that he still be sleeping with this girl. She live in North Carolina, and I think he moved to Atlanta. And he still come because they got 5 kids together. So he still come get his kids. And that baby mother in there like, I love him. I want him. This is what it is. We done been through too much. I don't care that he done married this girl. And she blatantly in the courtroom told the wife, I'm not gonna never stop sleeping with him. He come get these kids, he come visit his kids. I'm not gonna never stop dealing with him. Feel like she put too much work in, right? And so now you got the wife sitting there crying. And but what I liked about this judge, and there's a point to all of this, you guys. And what I liked about the judge said to her, she said to both of them. She said whether she read the paternity test, right? And it came up that the 8-month baby was his because he felt the way because she started seeing another guy. You know how people don't like when you pull them on them, okay? You become the bad guy, right? And so she finally decided to do it with somebody else when they had broke up. He found out about it, all this other stuff, he fell for it. So he was like, well, that could be his baby. So he got the DNA test came back, the 8-month-old, which makes their 5th child, is his baby. And the wife now is crying. So even when they read the paternity test, now he too is crying. And he looked at the ex with this look. And y'all all know this look. And he looked at her with this look that was like, damn, I'm sorry. I want you. I want you back. Like I want my family, but now I'm married to this girl. So he crying and carrying on. So then you got the wife that's standing beside him, and the judge said to the wife, "You've learned that he still sleep with this girl. This baby is there. They had 5 kids. They were together for 5 years. They were together for 5 years. They had 5 kids. Girl, she not leaving them alone. This is what your future is about to look like. And don't be surprised when she pop up pregnant again." And the wife standing there crying, and she like, "Yeah, I know, like, this." She said, "Because she's not gonna leave him alone." Then the judge said to the baby mother, "You deserve more because he done married somebody else and left you with 5 kids. He done married somebody else. Yes, you want him." She said, "But if you take a look in the mirror, you and the wife are one and the same. Y'all just swap roles. She's now the main person, and you are now the mistress." And I'll never understand why people go from being the main to the mistress. I wouldn't ever be able to do maybe that is my ego, whatever, but we ain't gonna be able to do that to me. I am not gonna go from being your girlfriend to the chick that you creeping with. No. Been there, done that, got a degree in it, okay? So I said all of that because I could I saw myself and every time I see a glimpse of myself, I look at everything, nothing is by coincidence. I look at it and I'm like, "Thank you, God." And that sent me into like a huge praise session in the morning. This morning, actually, crying and carrying on, excited before I went to work because I was just thanking God for delivering me and giving me somebody in my life that wanted to help me get through and guide me through that, right? Because sometimes God will take something and break you in half to get your attention, whether it you get injured, whether you lose your job, whether it's the relationship end, whether you have miscarriage, whether you smoking, doing drugs, you getting sick, and break you. And sometimes when we are constantly waking up or you feel like you're just going through a whole bunch of chaos, sometimes I look at that as he's saying, "Can we start now?" You know, can we start now? Do I have your attention? And so I saw myself in these women because same thing having a me child years ago. Well, it's been probably like 10 years now, 11, something like that. And I'm like, I lost, I lost my career because I chose to stay in a relationship with a dude that wasn't no good, ain't been no good, wasn't never not no good. And I ain't talking like he did some criminal things to get me in trouble. No, he did not. Okay. He couldn't keep his thing and his pants to himself, just a crap ball. And when I looked at that situation when because I was also watching Judge Judy, right? And on Judge Judy, a lot of people was coming in there arguing and damaging property over relationships, and the dude wasn't showing up. Like the one dude, girlfriend took his mother, and he ain't show up. In fact, he wrote a statement against his mother, right? So I was like, wow. And I looked at that and I saw all of that, and I knew that God was giving me a message all week with this. And this morning, I said, when I was realizing I saw myself in these women and in these different scenarios, I would have been retired right now, okay? And I lost the job, I lost everything. Life just got stripped down, okay, baby? Like I'm getting food stamps. I ain't never even had a food stamp a day in my life. Nothing against them, but this is where I come from. I wasn't raised in the struggle. You know what I mean? So I I knew nothing about a voucher. I didn't even know how to apply for a voucher. I didn't know about no food stamp. I'm in the line out here. Social service want me to sign over my life just to get $200. I'm feeling like, yo, this is too much. This nigga ain't paying that. Took care of his daughter all her life. My daughter was a daddy's girl. So now I got to deal with the fact that she had a father all her life. Now she's 12 and 13, and he don't want to be a father. It's just so much. He got a job, a good goddamn job, and I'm like, well, give me the money, because look, I'm not no bum. You know that you're the reason I got fired. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want to leave you alone. And you sailed off in the sunset with the very same woman that all this destruction happened on, right? But let me tell you how good God is. And I am just like, you plan we were together for what, 17, 18 years. So I'm like, you playing these games. We get down child support. You playing these games like you ain't got a job. Then you do. I mean, it was just chaotic. He was taking me through the ringer, or should I say, I was taking me through the ringer because all of this too was the result of me not knowing when to fold. And I remember my cousin, she was with me every day, talking me through it, walking me through it. I mean, I'm crying, having breakdowns and everything because my whole life has just shifted. I mean, during this time, I had people asking me for money to help them with their bills, and them mother freakers knew I had lost my job. So this is why I say that people people don't mean to be it, but they naturally selfish. You know what I mean? Um, nobody nobody called to check on me and see how I was doing or check on my mental except for one person every day, and that was my cousin, right? And again, nobody's responsible for that. Nobody gotta check on you. Like, nobody had to check on me, right? But I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I'm going through the ringer." Here we are, fast forward, I'm like, "What I don't know what's going on, whatever," right? I lost my job behind a lie, right? It was proven to be a lie, right? I didn't have any more I kicked out I paid $14,000 cash, no overtime. I didn't work no overtime. I don't even wanna do my 8 hours. $14,000 cash is what I came out of pocket for, a lawyer, to have negative results. Lost the case anyway, right? And I lost it because how you are when you're going through a crisis plays a part too. I was just so negative going through it. I was just like, "Well, listen, if I do lose my job, this nigga going to kick off this money, and this is just what it's gonna be." But I ain't know he had other plans, right? And it was a lie. Could you imagine losing a 9.5-year career behind a lie? I didn't wanna be a cop anyway, though. They were just hiring, and I had a kid and bills. Um, then the higher ups telling you that you could keep your job if you sleep with them. True story. I've never shared this other than with the people who I know, my friends, right? I'm not sleeping with nobody for nothing. So that's that, right? So I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'm not doing that." Them knowing that I did nothing wrong and knowing that it was a lie, and then after the decision was made, you learn that there was a conversation because this person had never had a reason to lie to you because they ain't even know nothing from several people that after your situation, they were a little nervous because they knew that the person that they called as a witness got up there and lied, changed his story. The baby daddy ain't show up, nor the alleged victim, right? And knew that these lies were being done, which ultimately, that's why I lost my job behind a lie. And because I didn't have any more money to fight my case. Took it to civil, up there to the higher court. It got denied, and then I had to pay more paperwork, additional this, the fees, and then listen, if you ever been in something with, like, the law and you had to do things, it costs a coin. And I was like, "Oh my goodness." So I didn't have any money. Then the proof that was there, um, got overlooked, clear as day, right? They painted the story however they wanted to paint the story. And then to have your friend who know, like, the story for real, but this is how it is when people who know you or people who know you are the last ones to accept that you change. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Family and friends will be the last ones, especially family, that won't let you change. They gonna hold you to the Michelle or the Andre or the Benita or the Shirley or the Alexis LeChamp they knew 5 years ago. Like, "Nigga, I done grown since then," you know? Same people, same people. Then make a smart remark to you while they were asking you for something, but was like, "Oh, oh, I ain't you. I need my job," as if I didn't need my job. You get what I'm saying? So, then you had friends trying to speak on something that they didn't know nothing about. You could ask me. Matter of fact, we cool, so you already know. So, why are you acting dumb? But that's a different story, right? And In that moment, during that moment, I didn't understand what was going on. And then this morning, with like I said, all the stuff that I had seen throughout the week, and just because I, like I said, I check in with me. God is used that situation to get my attention and bring me closer to Him, because that situation is what birthed Candy Coated Secrets. It changed my life. And I said, I because I said I would never allow nobody else to ever tell my story again. Never. Nobody is not gonna be able to tell my story or whatever the case may be. So here we are. I'm going back and forth with a dude, trying to hold on to this relationship for all these years, right? And guess what? Did all of that, did all of that. Ask me what he does to this day. Ask me, is he with this young lady that all my whole world got flipped upside down behind? I'm waiting for you to ask. What you think? Do y'all think, is he still with her? Did they get married? Tell me, put it in the comments. You tell me what you think. You just say Andre. Andre said absolutely not. Yep. And Andre, you are correct. Not even with this girl. Not even with this girl any longer. He's not even with this young lady. So this situation had turned and showed a whole lot, but at the same time, it showed me where it showed me where I had to grow up and be like, mm-mm, you gotta put your big girl drawers on and take responsibility for that situation because that motherfucker did not put a gun to your head and make you stay with him. He did not. So, you guys make sure you give me a heart and a thumbs up and you share the show, right? So it's like, damn. And do you know how uh crazy I felt releasing having to acknowledge that I played a part in it? Ain't nothing more crazy and make you feel away than having to admit a part that you played in the situation that you chose to stay in. Now you now since that, what do you think he's done with me or tried to with me? Put that in the chat. Yes, indeed. Okay. Because oh, they said nothing. Nope. Nope. You wrong. Dang, you've been on a roll. You've been on a roll. Audrey, you've been on a roll. I thought you was gonna be the one. Ding, 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 Bonita. He's been trying to mess with me again, get back several times, several times. And it's just one of those things where it's like, yo, the nerve of you, huh? What? Are you feeling remorseful? I don't think so. I don't believe that. I don't believe that he feels remorseful. This is just my opinion because I'm not gonna tell nobody who they are, but I know him. I don't believe he feels remorseful. I do believe, and he's said it before too, that he he realized that he was out of line. You know what I'm saying? Like I met him when I was 12. You know, so all that time up in there, you know how we be when we be in love, all of that. And I don't believe I really don't, Andre. I don't believe that he's remorseful because, when you be remorseful, sometimes you change your behavior and he's still that same person, but at the same time, it's the simple fact where it's like, "Damn, I believe, just and, I'm not tooting my horn, but when you are a decent person to somebody, I don't care what they say, if they call you, if you hear from them, if you don't hear from them, whether it's a friendship, valleyship, relationship, marriage. When you are good to a person and you are genuinely good to a person, and you didn't have any malicious intent when you were talking or, dealing with a person, they are going to realize and recognize that they messed up. The issue, see, and that's not something that I didn't always know. That's something I didn't always know, but I also didn't even know how much of a blessing that I was to people, right? And, but that comes with, it's something about God. You know what they say? It's something about the name Jesus. He gives you strength, gives you so much. And when you get into it and you learn it, he will pour some stuff into you to make you realize that you really are the sugar honey iced tea out here. And I know what I pray for, and I know the things that I want to be. And the fact that when something don't work out with me, or like I said, a friendship or relationship or something like that, I'm not knocking you. It doesn't mean that you weren't this, but I know who I am, and I know what he does with me and how he is with me, how he don't play about me, that I know that I was a valuable asset to you in your life. So you gonna miss me. When I get a "I miss you" text from anybody, I'd be like, I would miss me too. I would miss me too. They all apologize to me. They all always wanna apologize. They all wanna say what they recognize, whatever, whatever, and, it's cool, but I'm not a rekindler. I'm not a Kindle. You can't read me. You know what I mean? So I don't rekindle, you know, because you should have recognized what you had while I was there, but I'm also not going to fight and argue and want to fight you and force you, what we say earlier with the fist, to make you see my worth. Yeah, when I was younger in my 20s and ain't know no better. But today, this grown woman today, I'm not doing that. I'm not chasing. I don't chase, I attract, you know? I don't waste, I replace. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, straight up. And it's just like, you get wiser and you get better. You supposed to grow up and not continue to do the same things and learn from your mistakes. And that was the situation that God used to break me down because he also knew how much I loved him. And people don't like to say it, but I had loved that man more than I had loved God, more than I had loved life, more than I had loved myself. And some people won't admit that out loud. I don't care because everybody got the skeletons in their closet. I did. Nothing. What's Miss Silly say? And Nettie say, "Nothing but death can keep me from it." There was nothing that anybody could have said or this dude could have done that would have made me leave him alone. Like I was in love. And so God knew that. And what he did too was show me why you're not supposed to be all wrapped up in the person and, put all your life and trust in man whose breath is in his nostrils. Because how are you putting more faith? We have more faith in the people that we are with who are inconsistent, who deal with their own thoughts, who deal with their own insecurities and have their own issues. And we just take our heart when the Bible says you're supposed to guard your heart with all due diligence. And sometimes we just freely giving it away. And then you get upset with somebody stepping on it, chewing on it, and throwing it over a river and getting ran over by a lawnmower right now, and a dog is chewing on it. You know what I'm saying? So That's what I had to learn. But that one guy, my baby daddy taught me a whole lot, taught me a whole lot. And when I always say I've literally been every woman, and I'm blessed that I've been every woman with this one guy, you know, main, side, upside down, childhood, love, but it's just all of this stuff, just so many different I should have walked away from him a long time ago. So that was a situation that God used to shift my life. So, tonight, whomever it is or wherever you may be, it's like, what is he trying to tell you right now about whatever may be going on with you? Whatever it may be, whatever. What is he trying? What is he trying to get your attention with? Because when you worship something and you value something more than him, he will take it from you. He will do something to get your attention. When you putting all your faith in that this person ain't gonna break your heart, guess what happened? He gonna let you see, yeah, they will. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Nobody is perfect. So it's just that. And now, things have, yeah, yes. Oh, sorry, we're not supposed to lie at all. Absolutely, remove it fast. And Andre, let me tell you, when you get to removing stuff, it don't feel good. It don't always feel good. Growing doesn't always feel good. Growing isn't easy. Change isn't easy. If changing and all that was easy, yo, everybody would be doing it. Everybody would do it. If change and all that was easy, everybody would do it. And then at the same time, when you're going through changes and you are changing, things are gonna come up. Past behaviors are going to surface because you gotta see how you do it. Hello, what I just told y'all. Some years ago, I'd have lost my mind at my job. So that's part of what I was saying to y'all last week when it was like, when I was doing my fast and that situation occurred, and when I remember I told y'all he let me see how the situation would have played out, but at the same time, your history, my story, I know my story, you know your story better than anybody. I already lost a job behind trying to put hands on a chick. I already been there and done that. What did it do? It showed up again in a different format because something there still needed to be fixed. It was something there I needed to learn, and I handled it with so much grace. God knows I did. I handled it with so much grace. So, on top of him already preparing me, what I said, 4 years prior for the incident what happened at my job with the juice, to what happened recently during Lent, to it goes all the way back to 2015. Like, that's how God works. 2015, he already let me I already experienced confrontation at work and lost a career behind it. 2015. 2020, it showed up again. The girl threw the juice in my face. I went did that the right way. Well, remember I told you she ran, but okay. 2025, it showed up again, and I ain't even move. I came home, sat, talked to God, checked myself, prayed, meditated, and let Him show me what the outcome would have looked like because I had already experienced the outcome over 10 years ago. So just look at those 3 different events that I just told y'all about, years and decades apart. Oh, thank you for the gift. Thank you. Thank you, TikTok. Thank you. Look at how, um, far I reached my goal. Thank you so much. Thank you. Look at the years in those situations. 2015, 2020, and 2025. Similar situation, just different people under different circumstances. So when I be coming and I be telling y'all, be the energy you want to attract, pay attention to the patterns in your life, you can change it, you can do it. I don't come and I'm just breathing smoke. I really like one of my friends was here, which was a member turned friend. He always be like, "Yo, you really be putting in the work, like really working it out. Like if somebody didn't know you, whatever, like then I know you outside of your show." He's like, "Yo, you really do be doing it." Yeah, this is not a joke. Life is not a game. I got things that I want. I was a grudge holding somebody. Preach because I can tell you brought me through some storms. Okay, amen. Yes. Me too. You understand? So it's like there was 3 different scenarios with 3 different people. The first one started with a guy and a girl, and the other 2 ended with women. 3 different situations, years apart. And this time, I didn't even react. Both those times, I reacted. I gave a form of a reaction. This time, I want to do that. This is inappropriate. This time, I did nothing. I came home and I prayed for all parties involved, and I meditated and been doing the damn thing ever since. So I don't wanna say feel, I believe, I know I passed that test. So, prayerfully, I don't gotta experience that again. What they say, 3 strikes you out, 3rd time's a charm. I said that too. God, when we doing stuff, He answers us in 3 ways. Yes, no, and if you insist. 3 different situations, years apart, and I handled every single one of them differently, and the last one is the first situation that I truly decided to handle with nothing but God. Nothing but God. And the results for me have been beautiful. For me have been beautiful. And I know you might say, "Well, why is that beautiful?" Because I'm seeing the fruits of my labor, seeds are being reaped, planted, and all of that. But if I was still that same hot head in my 20s when that stuff happened, what? I probably wouldn't be sitting right here. I probably been locked up in some more stuff. You know what I mean? So I just want everybody, that's why, shout outs to Shell said that she needed this tonight. I blessed her tonight. I truly appreciate it because it ain't me, it's God. I truly appreciate it because this is why I do what I do. This is what I want to do. And um it pays off even when you don't, even when I feel like it doesn't. And I said all that to say that for the first time, it's 7 years. It's been 7 years, we're closing out the 7th year, and I just went viral. And, I'm super excited about and that's because I don't know, I haven't thought about it, didn't think about it. Like I said, I did my Lent, I did my fasting, I did my all of that, but, that's why I tell you guys, like, it's important to follow me on all my platforms because that way you can keep up with what's going on. Thank you. And I remember I said, "If God placed it on my heart for me to tell it, I would tell it." And all of this stories, all of this stuff goes together because of the simple fact that I always see him and that he always does things, but with this chain of recent events, I literally got to see him work overnight. So when I tell you that God, you guys, I know we go through things and it be hard and sometimes we can't see and we be ungrateful sometimes. When I tell you, I used to hear the stories from my cousin when she would say, "Girl, God can change your life overnight in the blink of an eye. Your whole situation, circumstances can change." And it's like you hear it, but you know how we hear it, but we don't really believe it. And I said I was gonna start being more, you know, grateful and just um, n getting rid of old thinking patterns of when something you know how sometimes we feel like, "Oh, when something good happens, here comes something bad, da, 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 da." I would do that all the time, and now I'm like, "I'm not doing that." 'Cause I'm just different now when I'm just in a different state. Like I told y'all, I'm back. So I wanted Lent to start off what it was supposed to do, and it's done that. And I truly believe I was talking to my nephew about this. I was like, "I truly believe that me doing what I was doing with Lent and just, like, my faithfulness and all of that is why I had this viral moment." And I had I had 3,000 and you know people come and go with it if but I had 3,740 3,748 followers on Instagram, like, 3 days ago, right? And today I have 4,035, right? And I'm like, "Wow, my video is going viral." It's gone viral, so I'm telling my daughter, the people that's close to me, we celebrating and talking about it, and my daughter like, "Yeah," 'cause my daughter, she go viral all the time. She thinks she shuts TikTok down, right? So, she's used to it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, is this what is this? How do I know? Da, 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 da." And we're laughing and all of that, and she's like, "Yeah, yeah." So, I'm like, "Okay." And I literally woke up one day, and I had seen all these follow I'm like, "Where are all these follow requests coming from?" I'm not thinking. This is why all of this is God because I can't tell you what time I posted the reel. I can't even though my nephew, was like, "Yes, you can, Instagram will tell you." I done looked, they done tried to show me, I still can't find it. I'm like, "Whatever, it don't care." I I can't remember what time I posted the reel. I just know it just placed on my heart and just like was like everything I've been doing recently, I'm praying before and I'm just letting God order my steps. For the first time ever. I'm getting out of my head, I'm not overthinking it, I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it, and I posted this reel, 'cause y'all know I be doing the reviews. I usually review it just on YouTube, and sometimes I might sprinkle in. I've been doing the reviews, and when I tell y'all that I didn't even realize what was happening in real time. I'm like, "Oh, it's at 10,000. Oh, okay." Alright. Something was like I don't know what it was, but whatever was going on I'm not glued to social media. I know you would think I'm glued to social media because I have a platform, but I truly am not. So, for whatever reason, for like a whole day or so, like, I just was not bothering Instagram or anything. And I'm like, when I opened my phone, it was at 10. I was like, "Oh, wow, this is different." Put it down, went on, kept on going about my business. And once I literally watched it hit. I was on the phone talking to Handy Mandy. Go from 17,000, 18,000, from 606 people shared it. I'm like, "Damn, I ain't never" you know what I'm saying? To having almost the same amount of likes as shares on it, and then I'm on the phone, and in just a matter of, like, 10 minutes, 18,000. I'm like, "Girl, it done went up. Now it's at 689 shares." 17,000, 20,000. So I'm like, "Oh, 20 is just whoa." I was like, "Yo, I'm at 20 something." Today I'm at like 40 something thousand. And I'm like, "Oh my goodness." So I'm still processing it because I'm busting my chops because this is what I want. And I'm saying that to share with y'all that, like, whatever you wanna do, don't give up. Because there were times I wanna give up. I wanted to give up, especially when my cousin died. Lord, you could just unplug cables, you know? And I'm like, I have to keep going and I can't give up. Every show I done, every different thing I done, I'm like, "Yo, it's my restaurant review that went viral." And me and my friend, Handy Manny, she was on the phone with me and she's like, "Yo, I always tell you, you it's gonna come to you in the least way you expect it." And I'm just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, you know how we blow people off." "Hey, Tara, thank bless and surprise. Thank you." And she's like, "It comes in the least ways you expect it." And please don't be offended when I say this, 'cause there's no shade to none of my friends or anything. But do you know out of let me tell you, let me look. Oh, look, we have 43. Um, do you know out of the 2014 shares I can show y'all that out of the 2014 shares that shared my content, people that's been putting it in their stories, like even the restaurant did, um, not one friend shared it. Not one friend, not one family member out of 2,000 people, right? And, oh, I don't feel away. So that's why I said I don't want anybody because my friends sometimes they watch, my family, they watch. I don't feel away. But I'm saying all that to say that what is that? Understand. I knew you would say that. Yeah. You know that I said all that to say that God will literally use strangers for his glory. He will literally I am I am telling you, he literally used strangers. He will use strangers. I mean, just the strangers and stuff, I was able to do my business and donate to my stuff, when we first started doing the second year and things like that. And my don't get me wrong, because my friends support me too. So I don't want that to get misconstrued because they definitely do. And I know everybody isn't hung up on social media and all of that, but at the same time, everybody knows you got to push me. I have no corporate, it's just me. So needless to say, but I'm like, oh my goodness, even with this moment, I'm just so grateful because I'm still receiving information. He's still downloading me with stuff. He's still showing me stuff. And I was like, and I'm not gonna cry because I get so filled with joy. And I'm actually a little drained because I've been so ecstatic. Um, and I haven't really like reposted anything yet because I do need to post another post. But I have a habit of chasing the next thing, and I'm not chasing it. We chase a high, and I'm not chasing it. So I'm just like, "Oh, okay." And let me do what it do because it's still working. But God used 2,000 strangers to catapult me into a algorithm. And I have another goal, but I'm not speaking it. Y'all will see that once it happens, because I know it's gonna happen. Um, he will literally use strangers. So I guess I said all that to say, don't be upset with your friends. Don't be upset with your family. You always have some people that just wanna watch, don't wanna do anything. I had to learn too, even when I'm on here and you guys are quiet sometimes, I had to learn, well, people will be actually listening. You so if you got a business, if you doing anything with yourself as far as even if it's not just, um, n even if it's not a, uh, business, whether you wanna go to college, whether you're graduating college, whether you want a different job or just different things like that, don't be upset with the people who you know that are slow to catch on, who aren't catching on, or who aren't pushing you, sharing your business cards, booking appointments with you. Don't be upset with them because in this moment, from my personal experience, because I like to take y'all with me, mm, you know, he's showing he's showing that, yo, he literally will change your life overnight. He can change your life overnight, and when it comes to certain things, it don't even matter because when he say he got you, he got you. And I want I'm sharing it with y'all tonight. I'm sharing that with y'all tonight because I've had my first viral moment, and it's like, "Oh, wow." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And I looked at that as saying, "Stop doubting me and stop questioning me. Trust me." But because you've been being consistent, because you've been being obedient, here's a taste, you know? So then comes the other things where it's like you gotta ignore the comments. Everybody's experience is gonna be a different experience, and they when you do it, and they be like, "Don't read the comments," all of that type of stuff. And and at that moment, I ain't gonna lie, because remember I told y'all, when old programming can kick in sometimes and that doubt can come. And I said, when I seen all these new followers, I did. I said, "Oh, here comes the crazies," because you let the world in on you, like, yeah, oh, no, you wanna make me cry. I truly appreciate that. I know that's right. Okay, I got to, I wish I had some hearts saying, I wish y'all put some hearts in the comments. Thank you. You've been compromised. I appreciate that. Because there's a lot of work believing in yourself and pushing something. And so when I was doing that, I was like, oh, here it come. And then I read like a comment, and it wasn't a negative comment. It was a comment about like their experience or something. And I was like, well, we're all gonna have different experiences. Maybe you didn't have a good time. I don't lie to my people, but this is what happened. This is what we did. And y'all trust me. So I seen that. Right after I read that comment, I was like, "Mm," and this voice again, like, said, "You sure you want it? Like, do you want this?" And I was like, "Yeah!" I wanted to hesitate like that. I was like, "Yes, yes." And I just told him, "Okay." And I am just going with the ride, not thinking about anything, not having it. I just wanna show up, continue to do my show, and have fun, be there for y'all. Um, I have a Patreon. Thank you guys who have became members of the Patreon. That's where I put more of, like, the personal stuff. I'm still working on some other footage to put there right now because that helps me to continue to, build the platform, things like that, and get different things, and I appreciate that. For anybody who's ever sending me you guys that send the stars onto the show, share the show, or anybody that's ever sent the Cash App, donations to donations, you guys, towards me, any TikToker that's ever, helped me make my goal, and Brandon, you be over there on TikTok too, y'all. Brandon be cutting up on TikTok. That you've helped me light up my gallery a million times. So, yeah, you can get an autograph, okay? And, so I appreciate you for that. I appreciate Benita for just always being showing up, you know, the moderator that always moderating, and I appreciate all you guys that do look and tune in, you know what I mean? And share the show and comment, and so now I'm starting to see that too, that, oh, this is why engagement is important because it gets you thrown into the algorithm, and now here we are, and like I said, he used 2,000 strangers to share my stuff, and we have 43,000 now, and I'm like, "Ooh, this is cool. This is what it's like." So I it's some other things that went on that day, so I know, as I was saying, later on in my journey, I know I wanna always I'm going to talk about and go to, like, more depth and have, like, something that goes with it that I've already worked on from I just can't wait to just, uh, reflect again, be reflecting on a different maybe on someone else's platform or sharing the story to people about, just giving them the encouragement and remembering the first time I went viral, and I started doing this in 2018. So, yeah, and life lifed, okay? Life has been lifing throughout this 7 years, and so just you guys get out your own way. Like I said last week, he not by himself. And then you know what's crazy? Ooh, because 'cause I'm just having this moment with y'all now. Remember last week when, Dorian was like, "I think you should pray." And remember the prayer when I was like, God, this is crazy, y'all. Oh my God, look, y'all about to y'all witnessing it. Y'all remember on the show last week when Dorian was like, "I think you should end in prayer." And I was like, "God, I said the prayer for us to get out our own way." And, I was like, "God, I ask that whoever, all of us involved that's watching the show." Do y'all remember that? Watching, I hope, that you bless them and have a change happen in their life. You know what I mean? And they see results, know that you there, that things are changing, you open doors. Oh my gosh, I'm just not remembering that. That applies to me too. So that was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What's the day? Wednesday. I think I posted it on like a Saturday, something like that. So wow, look at that. Like 4 days after the show, after that prayer I did on the show, look what happened. I went viral. Thank you, Jesus. And then someone else too had called me and told me some good news with them too. I was like, "Oh wow, thank you." Because I always like that I like that stuff too because that shows me that I'm doing the right thing. You support me in my brand, like you did for a friend. Yes, thank you. I support. Cause it's free to support. What is I be on everybody else stuff. I be doing stuff, so why not do it? So yeah. Yeah, Bonita girl. 4 days after that prayer. 3 or 4 days after that prayer. Now that I'm sitting here talking to y'all, that happened for me. Yeah, cause this says 4 days ago. What's for Wednesday? Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. And the show was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 2 days after the show. On the 3rd day, I went viral. So can we get an amen? I believe God deserves the glory, and I always do tell him, like, before I get out of here, I always tell him, like, no matter how things go, and just push me so that I can tell the people in the world about you, because he gets the glory for it and the acknowledgement because, yeah. And it was like for those days, it was like we said amen. TikTok said amen. Bonita said amen. Toya said Miss Kirby said amen. And so it just was like, dang, I really got to see. Yes, this is a full circle moment. Full circle. So this is why, y'all, we gotta believe. If you can believe, you can achieve. Don't give up. Don't be upset with friends and family, strangers. I know I'm always like, stranger danger. But when God has a plan for you, it will make a way. He will make a way and it'll be done. So I hope y'all have a good week, a great weekend. And y'all continue to hold on to the changes and whatever goes on or whatever it is you may be dealing with because it gets better. And you just gotta hold on, so I'm excited. That's my moment. I got to share it with you guys because I always share it with y'all. But um, yeah, I'm excited about that. Like, oh, he did it. He did it. We did it. We did it. So thank y'all for tuning in. Um, hey, that's crazy how that one topic led into all of this. I just let him go with the conversation that I was gonna go. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate, all that you do. Follow me on all platforms, especially so you can see it. Like you can be there and you can be in the know and know what's going on. What I have Instagram, I have TikTok, I have Lemonade. I post different things on Lemonade. I like Lemonade. I got followers on Lemonade. I don't even necessarily be on Lemonade, but people still on Lemonade because believe it or not, I think Lemonade will end up turning into something else too. So y'all should jump on Lemonade while I still wanna go. But thank you for every subscriber. Tonight, if you guys can you guys send the YouTube channel to at least 5 of your friends, ask them to subscribe to help you pay it forward. I'm trying to reach a goal on YouTube. So could y'all do me that favor? Go over to Candy Coated Secrets. We'll take this show, share it to 5 people, and ask them to subscribe to the channel for me. And if they don't wanna do it, ask them to send it to 5 people, okay? Because I'm about to be back posting, "Subscribe to the channel, y'all. Help me reach my goal." 'Cause closed mouths don't get fed, and that is the truth. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Did you guys enjoy the show tonight? Did I ramble? I'm always like, "I think I was rambling." TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. Thank y'all for helping me reach my goal. One day Imma come on here and we gonna have a lit party. Like, I wanna sit here, I be seeing the people on TikTok like, "Lit up my gallery, light up my gallery." Uh, Thank you to the people who are subscribed to me on TikTok. Thank you for the people who always show up on TikTok. You guys send the gifts and help me reach the goals. I appreciate y'all too. YouTube, shout out to YouTube. I appreciate y'all too. All y'all watching this on YouTube, I need y'all to hit that like button. Hit the like button. If you're on YouTube, give me a thumbs up. And give the video a thumbs. If you're not on YouTube, or you on Facebook, go over to YouTube and give the show a thumbs up. A thumbs up so we can get everything going. And of course, don't forget, get your license, go get your license with Defense 360 Maryland, get your permit. Comment Miss Vibrations sent you. And if you're catching the show and there's a replay, go ahead and hit replay. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Thank you guys for being great. I appreciate you all. I need me something to eat because I ain't eat all of me. And I will see you guys next week and continue to be great. And don't forget, the prayers are still active. The prayer is still there. We are all going to be blessed. We're not going to have no stress. Things are moving in our favor. And God is not going to do anything but show off in this season with us. And He's going to move obstacles out our ways and let us know that if we believe, we can achieve, and the possibilities are endless. So go out and ride the world with till the wheels fall off. and go after everything you want because God said you can have it. And in Jesus' name, amen. See you guys next week. See you later.